a solo journaling style RPG that isn't horror. You got any ideas?
Yeah. Yes. So there's been a ton coming out that aren't horror. And what's cool about these is they tend to have some crazy, wacky themes. I mean, there's pretty benign stuff like one called Letters to Sandra, where you're writing someone who's just gone off to college and you play as different interlocutors with that person. But I tend to like the weirder, the better. So first one I want to show you is called, this is a brand new one, called Outliers. This one, you are a research assistant, recently graduated research assistant. You're just trying to get a job in a lab and you answer the call to a very weird lab. I mean, this reminds me of sort of like either Paranoia or the Aperture Science in the Portal video games. You have no idea what's going on, the things that you're required to do, but you're going to be trying to keep lab notes. You're going to be drawing cards that give you these prompts to do that, trying to figure out what this lab is actually studying. And my favorite thing is there is a Jenga tower involved in this one that represents the funding that the lab has. If the tower falls, you've actually run out of funding. That's one of the ways the game end is triggered. So that's just weird and wacky. Going a bit more mainstream and commonplace, this one's probably a great one for people who love the outdoors. Old Morris Cave. They call this a continuous use campsite. So it's basically this campsite, this cave, that people have been using for thousands of years. And you are now digging down to figure out some of the history of this cave, finding artifacts, finding people that have been there, and journaling about that. So it's very, very cool. It has a lot of interesting charts and figures, like flow charts that you use as you're digging through the game and writing about the stuff you find. I just like the idea about that one because it's going to feel like a real document that you've made, like you have been a person, an anthropologist, archaeologist digging through this cave. Last one, another good oh, you know what? We just got this one in as well, Classified. So this is a solo journaling RPG where you are creating an agent. It's like, you know, secret agent man type of thing, hijinks and capers, but you're an agent. Maybe you're experienced. Maybe this is your first set of missions, but you literally draw up some stats for yourself and you're using a deck of cards to get random missions, random parameters around that mission, how long you have to do the missions. And what's cool about this one's actually designed to be played over multiple journaling sessions, not necessarily just as a one-shot all at once. As your secret agent grows, maybe fails at a bunch of missions, levels up, gets promoted through, has to deal with their handler, has to deal with different clients, just sounds really cool. So that's Classified. Those are 3 solo journaling RPGs that are not necessarily horror themed.